Now here to weigh in is a man recently out of jail for a partisan prosecution. Former Trump White House trade advisor and author of the book, The New MAGA Deal, Peter Navarro. Peter, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, my friend.
Your thoughts, sir, on the Harris campaign tactics?
Yeah, well, Kamala Liar, that's kind of my nickname for her. I think the problem we're having is that folks like you and I on Newsmax and middle conservative networks are basically explaining exactly what the problem is. But Donald Trump's not running against Kamala Harris. He's running against ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, Axios, Bloomberg, Apple News. And those journalists, if I may loosely use that term, are defending the Kamala Harris perimeter. They're instead of turning in and asking her questions, tough questions, they're simply they're like giving her a Teflon journalist wall. And all we can do, Dan, is try to put out what is the truth. What I preach right now is the gospel of channeling Clinton. It's the Trump policy agenda stupid. If you look at the polls, and on every single salient issue that will move the swing voters, and there are very few of them, to Trump, he dominates by double digits. At the top, there's obviously the inflation, economy, higher tax issue.
Sure.
He's out there in front by double digits. If you look at the border chaos, Kamala owns that border. The missing in action borders are Trump double-digit lead. Foreign policy, it's not just, Dan, that she's a radical and Walz is a radical. There's also the incompetence factor and the inexperience factor. I can't think of a presidential candidate ever who has less foreign experience, which is to say zero, in Kamala Harris's case. I mean, the only
Peter, she's not being challenged on these things.
Correct.
She's not being challenged on these things because the press is not aggressive like they used to be. Remember, they would hammer any candidate and anyone in office as they were walking to and from wherever they were going. Hammer them, make them answer the questions, and no one's doing that with her.
Well, look, I'm old enough to remember Edgar R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite, print journalists like David Halberstam, who was what is it? Afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted. That was their motto, right? And they asked tough questions. We have the Maggie Habermans of this world who basically just make a lot of money and write a lot of ink going after Donald Trump, but they won't ask the same kind of questions of Kamala Harris. So, what are we going to do? All we can do is put out the truth here. The truth here is Kamala Liar, is Kama Chaos. She owns the border chaos. She owns the inflation. She owns the crime in the streets because she wants to defund the police. She owns the strategic energy dominance, which we've lost, which drive up gas prices because she doesn't want Pennsylvania to frack. And all the woke stuff. I mean, look, can you find me somebody in America who supports cutting off the genitals of young boys? I mean, I'm still trying to find that person. Yet that's...
his name is Tim Walz, and he's the governor of Minnesota. Peter, I want to stop you for a second. I want to play Tim's opponent, J.D. Vance, a soundbite from him, who talks about Kamala's campaign. I want you to listen to this.
Yeah. Now, I cannot get over, my friends, about everything about her campaign is fake. A fake joy that comes from being promoted to a new position instead of using the position you already have to do your job and make the lives of the citizens of this country better. It's a fake ticket that never earned a single Democrat primary vote. It's a fake platform that offers no specifics about how to do the people's businesses, and a fake promise to change the government even though she's been in charge of that very government for almost 4 years and hasn't done a damn thing.
I mean, that sums it up, doesn't it, Peter?
I disagree with JD on this. When he says she hasn't done a damn thing, she's done damnable things. For example, as the tie-breaking vote in the Senate as vice president, she broke the tie on the two biggest budget-busting fiscal bills we've ever had in our history, which directly have created inflation. And oh, by the way, that no tips on taxes thing she stole from Donald Trump, by the way, one of those bills that Kamala Harris broke the tie on was the one that established an IRS army, part of which that army is to find people who are not paying their taxes on their tips. So JD is writing away, but boy, she's done damnable things. She's done damnable things on the border, on law and order, on fracking, and you name it.
Yeah. Well, she needs to be challenged on that, and she's not. And what I'm wondering is, in the short time we have left, how long can she keep this up? How long can she continue to say no to interviews and news conferences?
She will keep doing this right past Labor Day. She'll go into the convention, and everything will be scripted there. There'll be walls around her. Hey, look, it's working for her, so why should she go out and do anything else? And then what's should be frightening to this country is that while she's doing that, early voting begins as early as, I think, September 6th in Pennsylvania, which could swing the entire election one way or another. And so she's going to go into 2 weeks of debate prep before the September 10th debate. You're not going to see anything. So all we can do is use her own words. Just keep showing every clip. I am against fracking. I want to defund the police. I support Bidenomics. I support whatever it is, this woke stuff that she's all over.
Yeah.
And by the way,
I appreciate that.
I think one of the best ways to get to her is through Tim Walz, the VP. That was a horrible choice. What a poor judgment that is. The closest.
Well, we've been talking
state
about that every night, Peter, on this show and on my show, the 11th Hour Report on N2. We got to leave it there, Peter Navarro. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.